Y'all, been excited to get back in camp. I think our guys are doing a really nice job, continuing to progress. Really starting to get into camp very heavily now, the bangs, bruises, and finding how much you love football. At the beginning, the first couple of days, the shine wears off, and you can't see the end of the rainbow quite yet for the season, so you find out how much you really like going into practice each and every day, and the guys are doing a good job of continuing to get better. And very excited. Our young guys, I think our freshman class has really, like I said, I wouldn't say if you're fishing, you wouldn't throw any of them out of the live well, I promise you that. You like keeping who you got. We're happy with those guys. There's some really talented guys, and guys are working very hard and fit right in. That's the thing. They fit in not only body size athletically, but mentally they're learning how to go. And it's practice a lot harder than they've ever been experienced in it, but guys are really doing a good job of adjusting and doing. Older guys are doing a good job making progressions and across the board in offense, defense, special teams. But we're still so early. We've got a lot of things to go. We're still in huge installation parts and different segments. We just started our heavy third down the other day. A couple of days of that. We're into red zone now. Now we'll get into 2-minute situations and all those different things. So there's all those situational things in a game that not only takes the physical toll of what's going on, but the mental toll of how to execute, what to do, what to expect, and how certain play calls or defenses change based off of all those scenarios. And our guys are learning and adapting and getting better. But right where we are in camp, about where I thought. Tons of work to do, but very pleased with the guys we have the ability to do it, and the guys are working very hard. So, questions?
Start with Brent on the right, and then Travis on the left.
You sleep better at night when you coach a guy like Chase Lane, the way he takes care of business, not only on the field but off the field as well.
There is no doubt. Hold me 1 second. You guys ain't important to some of these recruits. You got me? I'm allowed to text, huh? I love y'all, but
you had to go run and write a story for a commit or anything?
No, it's just communicate. Yeah, Che. That's what it's all about. Listen, football is a huge priority, but he understands there's other things in life that goes with it too. He's a very intelligent guy, got a great future ahead of him, on the field and off the field. He's really emerging as a leader with consistency in how he's doing things, intelligence of how he perceives everything that's going on around, and does a really good job of setting the example for guys. And I think he's having a really good camp, by far his best camp, in my opinion, and learning not only all the little details. You can see him growing as a player, and great young man.
In your early impressions of NIL and the impact it's had on your program and some of your, and I know you're busy with the day-to-day things with camp going, but just
it hasn't been a distraction. The thing about the NIL, it has not been a distraction, and guys are hitting. Some of the guys are having really great success with it. And I understand. Making a lot of money. A lot of opportunities. So that's what it's about. I'm very happy for them, but haven't let it be a distraction to the team at all, and they've kept everything separate as far as when it's time to work and do the things. They're doing all they're supposed to be doing. So it's been very good for us.
Down front to the left, Travis, and then Sam.
I know it's something we've talked about a lot, but with the potential that an outbreak could cause maybe a forfeit, where are y'all on the...
We're extremely high right now. We're in the mid-80s or so, higher, working in our rate, and doing really good. Guys are doing a pretty good job. As you say, well, we're not 100, but that's not me. That's for everybody's individual choice. But we're in a very good situation.
And with a year under the belt, do you feel like everyone's kind of into the system with the...
Well, that's what we are. We're saying, listen, these are protocols. You have to live by them. We have to be with them. We have to do the things we got to do, and it's like the new normal. And guys have adapted to it and seem to be doing a great job with it.
To the right, Sam, and then to the left, Justin.
Jimbo, what's your general approach during camp in terms of practicing with a level of physicality while also preserving legs for the balance of an entire season?
Well, you got to get your legs first. There's training legs and there's football legs. You got to get your football leg before you can preserve them. What are you preserving? You know what I'm saying? And also, you worry about legs. I worry about the mind more than the leg. If the mind's right, the legs work. There's a physical part of it, but when the mind's right, then let the legs get tired. And you understand that. And it's more important to get the mind right. And you have to get guys tired. You have to get them banged. You have to get them bruised up. But in the right way and doing it the right way, as safe as you can possibly do it, which it's different than this. It's definitely different nowadays, but you still have to keep that sense of physicality. And we're going to practice very physically, and we're going to do things very physically, but we also have the best interest of our players at heart, and that's where we use our GPS. We can tell exactly from our GPS how their performance is, how their heart rates are, how the physicality is, how their workloads are, how they're adjusting to those workloads. And what you're surprised about is they keep going up. Those guys, it's amazing, just like I'm proponent. Now, and everybody gets into this in the pitching world and all the throwing world, and I can start a heck of an argument. There's so many pitchers. I'm gonna tell you what, I ain't sure we don't underthrow in today's world. Instead of I never heard Nolan Ryan and all them guys. Huh? And them guys still had all those innings and had all the Tom Seavers of the world and all those guys. They didn't blow their arms out 98 times. And what they did, and they still threw it 100 mile an hour and snapped it off. Now, and I joke about that, but sometimes we can get so caught up in the preservation that you also got to have tolerance. And you also, if your mind is strong, your body goes with it. But we understand that. I understand that part of it, and there's a fine line as a coach you have to walk. But the good thing, we have the information from the GPS that identifies it exactly. And we've been doing this longer than anybody in college football. Our GPS is more advanced than what we're doing with it, in my opinion, than anybody in college football. And we know exactly where we are with our players and what we're doing.
To the left, Justin, then go back behind the lights.
Hey, Coach, do you coach young quarterbacks differently as far as getting on to them harder, less? I mean, where's the
It just
balance?
depends on the situation, where they're at in their development, and who the person is. You know what I mean? And like I say, there's days I'll teach, there's days I'll ride. Because listen, it goes back to the same thing, that mental toughness, that mental grind, that, you know, those guys, all those great ones are mentally tough. Somebody's gotten on them and pushed them and prodded them as they went on. And that depends on the individual, the time, the situation, and where I think their development is, and when they need to be pushed, or when they need to be challenged, or when they need to be eased off. And I think that's a field that you have to go. And I've been riding our guys pretty good. I've been pushing them, and because they're young, and I want to see who can mentally, you know, do the things you got to do. But they're also progressing very nicely. So I think, you know, there's a fine line there. Both. To answer your question, both.
Go to the back behind the lights, Tom.
Jimbo, when you compare where you guys are at this point of camp right now to last year, say, you know, a week or so in, it's about the same? Or
Yeah, we're right on progression, what we're putting in, the installations, times. You know, certain groups could be a little bit, it may you feel like it'll be a little bit ahead. A couple groups may be just a tinge behind, but at the same time, we're very similar where we are. I think we're very, very close to where we were at that time. Seemed to be anyway, but if I remember right. I'm getting older though, and I don't remember as well.
We'll stay in the back of the mic, and then David.
Hey, Coach, you have Miles and Jalen Jones coming back at corner. How do their skill sets kind of complement each other, and what's the limit on those two?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. One is experience, and that's the main thing. You can't put a price tag on that. The other thing is their length and size, and I think being able to play with that length and size in the way today's world is with the big receivers, and if you ever have to match them on a tight end, or, you know, people put tight ends out there and put them outside, inside, like, you know, we do with Wiedemeyer and a couple of those big guys. Sometimes you get caught on a guy like that. They have the physicality and size to contend and play. So both are very gifted. I'll tell you what, the thing about both are very intelligent, competitive, athletic, and both are very team-oriented guys. They're really, I mean, I'm saying this, there are better people than they are players, and they're very, very good players. I mean that. They're both really high quality people, do a great job in the team and work hard. So we're blessed to have them and have two guys with that kind of length and size.
Go to the left, David, and then OB.
Jimbo, what does a guy like Leon mean to the defense, just the way he goes about his business, the way he speaks, the way he's just that chip on his shoulder?
Well, I mean, he has a chip on his shoulder, a lot of guys do, but the one thing about Leon, you always know he loves ball. No matter what, how Leon, whatever tangent he goes off, I always tease him, whatever he talks, but at the end of the day, one thing is for sure. And it's not by word of mouth, it's by what his actions are. His workouts in the off season, his workouts during the season, him on the field, his energy level, his competitiveness. I mean, the one thing about Leon, you can always, he loves ball. It means a lot to him. It's very important to him. And like I said too, listen, it's a thing that's very important. It can't be the most important. There's other things in the world that, and I don't mean that, I mean, I learned that yesterday when I was in Tallahassee. I mean, God's still number one, and you have to be that way, and that's the way Coach Bowden always lived. And I say that, and you know, something he reminded me of. He used to say it all the time. Football is a priority, faith, family, and football, and it's a priority, and that's the thing Leon has done a good job of, though. He loves ball. He keeps that chip on his shoulder. He wants to be a great teammate and do the things he had to do.
Right side, Olin.
Jimbo, I was wondering if you could tell us how some of your guys who have dealt with injuries are coming along. A guy like Cunt or Matthews or DeMond.
Matthews was he was practicing the other day. Matthews back in practice, doing well. Who'd you say? DeMond is still healing well. He's been right in meeting, been very energetic, interacting, knowing what to do, been great with the guys, waiting, you know, still trying to get healed. Who'd you say? Cup. I've been tinged a little. He should be a couple more days. I'm assuming. I don't put it exactly that. It shouldn't be long. He'll be back doing things. We're tinking I'm working with him to make sure we put his body load right back in so we don't overload him in time, but he'll be back and doing well.
Caleb?
Hey, he's been practicing. We've got him in non-contact jersey, but he's running every route, practicing every rep, just because we want to ease that contact in as we go. And what we're doing, we're limiting when he can get bumped and bruised. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. But he's practiced last 2 or 3 days and looked really good. Played
So you
well.
are about as healthy as you could hope to be right now?
Yeah, I mean, you always get some guys banged and bruised, but that's part of it.
To the far left, Alex, and then to the right, Sam.
Hey, Jimbo, I got a two-parter about Terry Price. Going back when you first got here, what was it about him that led you to retain him on your staff? And then what can you say about the way he's developed some of these guys on the D-line?
Well, first of all, I've known Terry. I've known Terry a long time. I've coached against him a long time. He was at Ole Miss. He was at Auburn. I mean, guys I went against multiple times, and every time we ever played his teams, his guys played very well. He recruited well. He always had this. Always had great respect for him. Guys you coach against. He had one day, if you ever hired that guy with that big guy you're interested in putting on your staff, he always has been that guy. Secondly, he's a tremendous human being, great recruiter in what he does, and he's a very knowledgeable coach. I mean, you got to understand something. He's coached guys, been first picks in the draft. He's coached guys, been multiple guys that weren't even highly recruited guys to get drafted and do things that even here at other schools and other places, everywhere he's been. And he's done it himself as a player. I mean, he was a great player here himself. He played pro ball, been part of great defenses. And then the other thing is he knows A&M, and then you can see his love for A&M. And plus, he's the best barbecue guy I know, so you got to have him.
To the right, Sam, then to the left, Zach.
Jimbo, Devon A-Chain, how has his pass catching developed, and does he have the versatility to be a weapon beyond the backfield for you guys?
Yeah, he does. And you know what I think makes him catch passes so well? He's so short. I think he does that really well. I think it's really good because he's shorter than I am. And I think that really benefits him in how he does things. Just to make sure you tell him I said that. All right? But no, his hands, he really is. He's a natural. He has natural ball skills. I say this all the time. He's great at track. I mean, guy qualified in 100 and 200 meters in a 10 flat and a 20.2. But he is a football player who plays track. And I don't, not that he can't play track, but I've been around a lot of guys that play track. That game doesn't translate into football. His translates into both. He's a natural athlete and runs with, for a guy that's that fast, runs with tremendous patience when he has the ball. He's a natural reader and runner of the football, but then has great ball skills, and you can put him out now. His route, he's learning how to run routes and do things and be in space. And I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't take him. He's a guy too. When you rep him on something and teach him something, some guys, it takes a little bit of time. You got to work. It doesn't take him long. Not only does he get it mentally, but physically, his body can just do things after he does it once or twice. So it makes it very natural in some things he does. So very excited about where he's going. He's been playing really well. Really well.
Time for a couple more.
But he is shorter than I am.
Zach, and then OB.
Jimbo, get your thoughts last Sunday down here in Millette. Get your thoughts on last Sunday, at least playing out, scrimmaging out in Kyle Field with fans in the stands. What did that do for your team? How did it benefit, especially those younger guys?
Well, I think they realize that people do care. They get guys out there, and the first time they get to go in Kyle, that was their first experience ever on Kyle Field. I mean, think about it. I've been recruited my whole life, and I've never played on. In a college, and some of them maybe in high school, a couple playoff games. I remember having some playoff games in here since I've been here. But I think they were excited, and I think just anytime you walk in that stadium again, get your blood pumping. So it was great for them. They played well, and hopefully the fans got to see a little bit of what they wanted to see.
To the right, Olin, and then Brent will wrap us up.
Yeah, Jim, I have two more things. First of all, on Chase Lane, I was wondering, we talk about A-Chain as the big play guy in Spiller, and we've seen Ananias and even Chapman before.
Oh, no, Chase Lane definitely is. You remember, catching balls at Mississippi State, coming across that field and running everybody on the field for a touchdown, which was huge after that momentum had swung after the ricochet interception. Remember, Chase has the ability to make a lot of big plays, running with the ball and catching it deep down the field.
And then I just wanted to ask you about the kickoff return. Do you suspect that y'all return kickoffs this year, or are you going to maintain what y'all were doing
last year? Depends on how
year?
teams do, what teams do, and where the kicker is. But we will. We'll definitely do, and where we're at, and we'll pick our chances. Look at our chances where it's at, because if you looked at it last year, if you average 25 yards a return, wouldn't that put you about top 10?
It would be good.
It'd be real good. Now you say you don't have a chance for the big play, which is right. So we have to do a good job of a kicker, his hang time, how athletic they are on the field, what's going on, how our matchups are, what we'll do. But we'll definitely take shots at it. There's no doubt.
Would you suspect that A-Chain would be one of the guys returning?
I would suspect that pretty well.
To the right, Brent, and then Travis, you'll wrap this up.
When you attend something like yesterday for Coach Bowden, does that put you in a pretty reflective mood? See a lot of old familiar faces, hear old stories and so forth?
It does, and you know, first going to see Coach and the things he meant, and why I always say what he meant to us. And like I said, I go back to the 80s, I mean the mid 80s and early 80s. And then getting to see the family. I mean, got to see Ann, you know, and then Tommy and Terry and Jeff, Ginger and Jack Hines, you know, son-in-law. I mean, all the kids. You know, just a lot of tremendous memories. And remember why I started coaching. Sometimes you get so distraught when you leave something. You know, you always say you got to go back to your roots, go back to your foundation. Well, the Bowden family was my roots. It's where I started, where I was. People always accused me of being a Bowden all the time. They took me everywhere, did everything with them, and was around them all the time. And to be exposed to Bobby and that family at an unbelievable early age, when you're very impressionable about what you're trying to do and you want to become something, and to have that family put in front of you, to be able to go to meetings, let them coach you as a player, coach with them, coach with Bobby, coach with the kids, go to bowl games. I mean, hang around the family, go to practices, stay at the house, listen, be at Bowden Academy, listen. I mean, it reminded me all those times. And it was, you know, the craziest time I said, I'm not so sure, as much as I love everything I do, I mean, those original days when you didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. You're trying to figure out how you're paying your rent. You're an OC and you're making $14,000 a year, and you're going, I mean, but you were happy, just as happy coaching then as I am now. I love being where I'm at, but he reminds you why you got in this business. And he reminds you that, you know, football is a huge priority, but it's not the priority. God was number one with him, his family, and then ball. And he had his things in perspective, and that's why I think the longevity and the effect he had on so many people's lives. When you sit and listen, you always wonder what they're going to say about you. I'm going to tell you what, it was remarkable. They could have kept going on and on and on, and everybody had it, and how he affected them. And there wasn't tons of ball stories. I mean, the fact that you forget why in coaching, the effect you have on people, good, bad, indifferent, and all the things that go on, and the responsibility you have. As I know, we get out of whack too sometimes. You know what I mean? About what you're in the business for, how you're doing. You want to win so bad, you're doing this, you're doing that. But like I said, that guy is, I don't think, and I don't mean this in any disrespect to anybody else, I don't think anybody ever did any more for a school than Coach Bowden did at Florida State. I mean, they hadn't won one game in 2 years when he got there. Remember, he left a 9-3 team, went to a bowl game, had a great team, had a great run at West Virginia, and left and came there, and Florida State became Florida State. I mean, and the effect he had on people and what he did and how he did it, but more than anything, the class he did it with, did it the right way of recruiting, didn't cheat, didn't do the things you had to do, and I don't know if anybody's ever done more for a place. And the other thing, I say it all the time, those wins they took away from him, wasn't him, they need to give them back. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous in that part, I would also say that. But it was a tremendous, you know, you laughed, you cried, but you had memories, and, you know, it was a great time, especially seeing the family, Jeff and Terry and Tommy. I mean, you know, they coached me. And going back, we were telling stories, and some of them I forgot. I'm glad I did forget. They didn't forget them. But, you know, but just great to see them all and be with them, and a tremendous deal. I mean, tremendous man, like I said. So.
We'll finish up with Travis down front left.
Yeah, Coach, where are you in the process of selecting a new 12th man, and does that carry a little bit more weight with what NIL can do for that guy in that position now?
I guess it does, but that has nothing to do with my decision. The 12th man will be the 12th man for those same core reasons he's always been the 12th man, and that'll never change. What happened to NIL is out of my control, but that's nothing we deal with. But it's very important because of the tradition and history here, and I take it very seriously. Our staff takes it very seriously, so we're weighing that decision. And we've got quite a few candidates. I mean, we really do. There's quite a few guys that, I say they're all candidates, but I mean that are really making a push for it and doing it. So we're going to let it sort out. And like I say, your action speaks so loud I can't hear what you're saying. We'll see who does what they have to do to earn that job, because I mean that's that award, I guess, as I say, or that I say that back, that responsibility. But when you become that guy, you better understand everything that goes in titles with it, not just playing on the field, and everything that goes with it. And that's very important to all of us.
Very good, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.